Good morning. Thanks for joining me on this. Well, here it is a beautiful Tuesday. I'm not sure what it's like where you are. Um, I am thrilled to be here. Thanks, a big thank you to Constant Contact, who allows me to provide these free webinars. I try to do 2 to 4 a month, and I'm extremely open to what you need. So if you have a specific request, trust me, other people also have the same request. They just haven't asked. So feel free to connect and let me know what you would need. My name is Jacqueline Wolven. I have been in marketing for over 20 years. I started out as a graphic designer. I was the lead graphic designer on Ninja Turtle toy packaging and Star Wars Episode 1. And so little boys really like me usually, and grown-up boys do too because they grew up with those toys. I moved from that to doing incentive marketing for locations, so travel-based marketing. And then now I am a part-time Main Street director, so I work with 93 different small businesses in my downtown district. And I am a consultant nationwide, and I work with small businesses, usually under 100 employees, so which would be considered at this point a micro business. But I hear you, and I usually understand where you are because I work with people in small business every day. And so this presentation comes out of this. If we were in person, I would I would have you raise your hand if you have a marketing plan. And what I have found with clients is none of them do. Small businesses are just trying to make payroll, get their taxes done, make sure they have all of the product, curate everything that they're buying, make sure that their brick and mortar or their online store or whatever it is working and functioning. And the idea of a marketing plan is just another thing. The problem with that is that what I see clients doing and the people I work with is that they are wasting money and time because they haven't spent the few hours that it would take to create a simple plan. It doesn't have to be elaborate. I mean, you're not at this, maybe, maybe you are, but for this, you're not going for a small business loan. This is just for you to keep you focused on what you need to do. And I highly recommend even I'll point out the things you really should do in this, and if you don't do anything, do this thing. But having a plan allows you the opportunity to know what you're going to do and not waste money and time, and that's the most valuable thing that you can give your business. So we'll just go ahead and get started. If you have questions, you can go ahead and type them in, and at the end, I'll do my best to try to answer them. And then, of course, if you have long form questions, you can contact me at my email address, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So here it is. It's a step by step. It's pretty simple stuff. Actually, really big companies use this plan. It's a little more elaborate with Gantt charts and so forth, but I've sort of made what's important, the bare bones of it, accessible to small business. So I took what I did for the really large marketing company and decided, I think that a small business could do the same things. And so these are the pieces. So the step one, and this may seem kind of redundant or unnecessary. You may already know this, but it's really important to write down or type, however you want to do it, your reason for existence. What does your business do or sell? If you're a party supply company, it's to sell party supplies for people to make people's events better. If you're a dentist, it's to do dental care in your community. Whatever it is. The reason this is important is people start to think that maybe what their job is Facebook, or their job is creating their online store, or maybe their job is serving on a million committees in their small town. And that's really probably not the purpose of your business. And so I encourage you to get a sheet of paper and write out, what is it that your business does. We have a good example. We have an art gallery in our small town, and for numerous reasons, it's gone out of business, mostly health reasons. And everyone said, oh, she's just such a great promoter. And I said, well, that really wasn't her job. Her job was really to sell art. So being focused and clear about what your business does every day will help you make decisions. So write it down. Sounds silly. I know you maybe have been in business for 15, 20, 30 years. Why do you need to write it down? Because people forget. They go after the shiny and they forget what they're really doing. The next step is, what sets your business apart from the rest? How are you better or different from everyone else? So you're differentiating yourself because you're not the only party supply company. You're not the only art gallery. You're not the only, stationery store or gym or dentist or, all the numerous things that people are. But how are you better? It might be about cost. It might be about service. It might be about how you source your goods. It could be a variety of things. Know what they are. You can just make a list. What makes you different or better than everyone else? And if you're struggling with that, have a conversation with someone and ask them, someone that you trust or an employee. Talk about it. What makes us different? What makes us better? I work with a small cupcake shop, and I was saying, so what makes you different than every other cupcake shop? And they were saying, well, we're women owned. We provide on-site delivery. I mean, they were listing the things that they could do. And I said, well, write those things down, because those are your marketing points. That's how you're going to differentiate yourself to your current and new customers. You have to know why you're different. If you don't know why you're different, you need to do a little research and go see how other people are doing things, which is totally okay. It's totally okay to go out in the market and see how other people are doing things. So I have a whole worksheet on this, and a lot of people want it usually. And if you do, you can send me an email. I'm happy to send it to you, on who your ideal customer is. This also seems goofy to a lot of clients when I ask them to do this, but picture who you want to be your customer, or picture your best customers. Picture where they live, what kind of job they have, what kind of car do they drive, what kind of media do they consume, what does their house look like? And I know that this exercise seems kind of crazy. Every large corporation in the world does this exercise, by the way. They know who their customers are and who the customers they want, down to every piece of demographic information. And the reason that this is important to you in your small business is because when you are doing your marketing and you're creating your advertising, you're creating it towards this person or these people. So if you want to have a more luxury brand, then everything you do would reflect what the luxury consumer would want. But you have to know who they are. So that all you have to do is write the list. Who are they? And if you have customers that you think are your ideal customer, you can say, my ideal customer is, Betty White, and she spends X amount a month, and she comes in and refers, and all these things about her, and she drives this kind of car, and whatever it is. Again, to reiterate, the reason that's important is because you can target people who are just like Betty White. So even if you don't have a Betty, when I do this with clients, I actually have them create their own Betty. And they name them, and they figure out what they would wear and where they eat lunch and where they live and the whole deal. And that makes it easier, because I do have clients who say, oh, my customers are everyone. Nobody's customers are everyone. Not even Walmart's customers are everyone. So, because not everyone will shop there. for a variety of reasons. You have to understand who you're targeting. Yes, everyone is able to shop at your location or use your service, but that's not who you're going to spend your money marketing to. So spend 30 minutes and figure out who your ideal customers are, and that will help target the work that you're doing in your marketing. And it's okay if you think it's silly. Most people, when they go through this exercise, do, but they also get a very clear picture at the end of who they want to spend their time and energy and money on. What is most important to my ideal customer when they are buying what I am selling? So you've got your ideal customer. Now, why are they interested in what you have? Are they interested in the quality, the price, where it's sourced, your customer service, whatever amenities that you offer, your VIP club, your accessibility, whatever it is? Think about why your current or potential ideal customer is using your business instead of someone else's. What is important to them? And what's great about this piece of the marketing plan is those are the things that you focus on. So if what they're interested in, and this, is the origin of goods, like they like things that are locally sourced, or they're interested in natural products, or whatever it is, you would buy more of those, right? Because that's attracting your ideal customer. Or if they're interested in the fact that you're the low cost provider, then you would make sure that you are staying competitive in your marketplace on cost. When you are able to focus in and hone in on exactly what your ideal customer is attracted to in your business, that allows you to focus just on those features. Everything else is important too, but you can't focus on everything at all times. And so understanding what they want will allow you to be better at what they want. So why do you do this marketing? So a lot of people, they're just running their businesses and they're trying to make more money. Or whatever that is. But I like to help clients realize goals, because at the end of the year or the end of the quarter, if you're able to say, the marketing money and time and energy that I spent allowed me to XYZ, it has a more direct impact. You can see it and feel it. And we're all in business to do things, to move forward in some way. So making that list of the things that you want to accomplish this year will allow you to be more focused on if you're getting closer to your goal. And having a goal with your marketing makes the marketing choices easier. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. But maybe you want to add new products or a new product line, or develop new products, or hire new staff. Or maybe you're looking to develop new partners, create residual income. Maybe you're doing new concepts. Maybe you are an online business and you're ready to lease a building and have a brick and mortar. Whatever those things are, I do suggest that you pick no more than 3. Yes, you can do everything, but I have seen, the small business, especially the businesses that are, under 10 employees, it's a big deal to get a brick and mortar, or to hire new staff, or to expand their business in some way. And so you don't have to do all of the things in 2015. You can do some of the things and then do more things in 2016. It's the idea of sometimes your eyes are bigger than your stomach. When you're at like a little kid at the buffet, they put everything on their plate because it all looks so good, and then of course they can't even eat it all. So it's the same thing with you. Yes, you want to do all the things. We want to do all the things, but but let's do a few things and do them really well. So figure out what your goals are for your business, and that will allow your marketing to be more targeted. Seems sort of counterintuitive because, like, why does marketing affect the fact that I want to hire new staff? Well, if your marketing is effective and you actually are making more money and you can hire new staff, then you know that it's working. It's a pretty simple way to see that your return on investment is actually working. It's a great tool for a small business. How much will each marketing initiative contribute to my revenue or profitability? So, again, with the plate metaphor, you can't do all the things. There's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of opportunity for marketing. And most of you, I'm assuming, if you're on this call, you don't have a dedicated marketing staff. And so you are the one who has to do all the things. So what I ask clients to do is to really focus on the things that will contribute to actual revenue. Sure, you can run newspaper ads and you can, be in all the publications and you can be in every social media and you can, do everything. But if you're not actually seeing new customers or new interest, then that is a wasted effort. And in my life, time is money. Time is the most valuable resource that any small business owner has because it's limited. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and how we use that is really crucial to the success of our business. And so you don't have to do all of the things. You get to focus on the things that will actually bring revenue to your business. So email marketing, maybe that will bring 40%. Event marketing, LinkedIn ads, Facebook marketing, sponsorship, whatever it is for you, you have 100%, divide it into the things that will actually bring you benefit, dollars, interest, whatever that is for you, that means success. The list can't be 100 things. There's not enough time. So really start, my challenge for you and my hope for you for this year is that you really start to focus in on the things that actually drive business. And so take some time, look at what you did last year, have an honest reflection, like, gosh, we spent a lot of time marketing on Facebook and we didn't really see a lot out of that. What can we do different? Or maybe we need to drop that. Or gosh, we're on Twitter and we don't really see anything happening with that. Maybe that's not the right place for us. That's okay. You don't have to be in all the places. When I first started teaching social media, especially, everybody wanted to be everywhere. And the truth of it is that you're probably not going to be very good everywhere. And I don't know about you, but I would like to have my business and myself presented in a way that is my best in every place that I am seen. And that's the same for you. You want your best. And I also want it to drive some sort of relationship or something. And if you're not getting anything from it, then it might be time to drop it. So, what gets included in your budget? So, what are those things that you can choose from? You have email marketing costs, which are pretty low. I think Constant Contact, it's $20 a month to get started. That's pretty inexpensive. Facebook ads, that could be pretty inexpensive, but buying stock photos, hiring a consultant, Yellow Page ads. Trust me, people still use them. I know you probably do. I just had a client reach out to me and ask which one is the best one to be in, because there's not just Yellow Pages, there's names and numbers and, whatever other actual paper directory, and which one should they use for their business. And so people do still use them, and they're very expensive. Pens, pencils, tchotchkes, anything that you're printing with your logo on it, that's a marketing expense. billboards, text marketing, postcards, website updates. Who needs their website updated? I can see you raising your hands. Everybody needs a little refresh. That's a marketing cost. Newspaper ads, cable, radio, public relations cost. If you're going to do any PR web or any of those opportunities online, that costs. Pay per click, Google, Bing, Yahoo all have pay per click ideas. That costs. We all know that. LinkedIn ads, blogger campaigns. The list is infinite for what could be included in your pie of 100%. What is it that you're going to spend your money on? And take a minute to really think about it. Do the pencils that I get my logo on, or the pens, does that help people remember me? Do the newspaper ads that I put in my local paper, does that actually drive business into my location? Think about those things. Like, a lot of people get into habit of marketing. They just have always done this, that, or the other thing. Or I'm just going to try this. I hear that a lot. I'm just going to throw some money or time or energy into this thing. And it with no return. And I will tell you that whoever you're buying it from will tell you it's working and it's great. Remember that. So let's say you buy ads on a website, maybe you're doing something like that. They will tell you that it's working fabulously, that you're getting all of this traffic and impressions and blah, blah, blah. If you, though, are not seeing a return on that investment, you're not seeing new customers in your door or on your site, then it's not working. Let that sink in a minute, because they've told you it's great. Because that's what they're going to do, because they want to continue to sell you, because people get into the habit of marketing choices. They just do the same things over and over, whether it worked or not. They don't know what else to do, so they just do that thing. So you have to evaluate. Do not let the salesperson tell you that it's working. You decide if it's working for you. And if you really don't know if it's working, then put up some parameters before you buy again. Okay, I'm going to buy that ad, but I'm going to expect 5 new customers out of that, whatever it is, and see if that happens for you before you just get into the habit of doing the same old thing. It's a really important lesson, because I see clients spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars where the salespeople are telling them it's working, and I can never really see that it is, but the business owner is so nervous about changing because they're being told that it's working. And so evaluate it all for yourself and include in the budget what you think is really working. And it is okay to change your mind. So let's just say by May, you decide, I really do want to do a every door direct postcard mailing. That's a U.S. Post Office thing. You can buy mailing routes and you can send postcards to those mailing routes. Very inexpensive, really effective if you're trying to target a specific area. People actually still do look in their mailbox, but so you decide in May, I do, and I have the budget, and I do want to do that, and I'm going to cut out this other thing that doesn't seem to be working. It's okay. It's your budget. It's your time. It's your energy. You're allowed to make the shift. I'm just asking that you have some parameter and you know what you're doing. There's a reason. Most people, and this is true, at least for my district, of the businesses that I work with and the people I've worked with around the country, they are inundated with requests. So if you don't have a budget or a plan, when somebody knocks on your door, calls you, or sends you an email, you don't have a reason to say no. But if you have a plan, you have the ability to say, no, I can't do that this year, but I'll think about it for next year. What I see happen is businesses just evaluate things as they come in, and they say yes a lot more often than I think that they should, because they have no real plan. They're just yeah, I'll do that. I'll sponsor that. I'll do that. I'll do this. And so that's a lot of money going out, and they have no real budget. And so at the end of the year, when they look at how much they spent on marketing, it's usually a little astounding, because if you counted every cheerleader that you sponsor, every event, every tchotchke that you bought, every ad that you bought, it just begins to add up. So if you take that initial time, you have the opportunity to say no. It's probably the most powerful tool you have in your business, is the ability to say, no, I can't do that this year, but maybe next year. Gives you an out. You're not being mean. It looks like you're smart because you're evaluating it against what you have. And it allows you some time to actually think about what they're trying to sell you. Because remember, whatever they're selling you, they're going to tell you is great. And so this allows you to actually think about it without the sales speak. So social media spend. Where are your customers? So there's a lot of options for social media: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And it just keeps growing. Snapchat, who knows, right? So it's okay to not do all of them. Know where your people are. So if your people, let's say that you are, let's say you're party supplies. I would bet a lot of your people are on both Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. They may be in other places too, but they're probably buying from Pinterest. They're looking at other people's parties on Instagram and Facebook and judging whether or not they'll use your service or your company. So think about what you are selling and where your people are. Where are your consumers? Where are your customers? If you don't know, that's okay. If you have an online store or you have a brick and mortar, you can ask. You can do a small survey as customers come in. Just ask, so what social media do you use most frequently? People will tell you. You can do a poll either via email, which is great. On Facebook, you can do polls and you can ask, where do you spend most of your time online? Find out where your customers are, and that is where you want to spend your time too. Remember what I said, time really is money, and I can't say that enough. It's exhausting to run a business, and you just can't do it all. I recently I teach Pinterest, so I took a Pinterest class myself. I'm always trying to learn something new. And I was astounded at the amount of work that's expected to have growth using Pinterest. Uh, I would have to hire someone to do it. I looked at it all and was just amazed at how much time and energy that would actually take. Except if that's all I was going to focus on and I saw results from it, it would be worth it. So you have to weigh that. Because it all does take time. It's amazing how much time it takes. Here's the real deal with social marketing. Only spend time where you get the most bang, and only spend money where your people are really hanging out. It used to be that we told you to be everywhere. And I apologize now. If I ever said that to you, I am so sorry, because I was wrong. And every marketer everywhere who's telling you to be everywhere is wrong. You just need to be where your customers are. And if you're working it for a while, whatever social media platform you choose, and you're not seeing any revenue drive, you have to give it a little bit. You can't just try it for a day and decide whether that's going to work. Change it up. It's okay. You can make decisions. I know that for myself this year, I've dropped Google Plus. I hate the platform anyway. I don't see any revenue stream from it, and I'm just not that interested. So I have a profile out there, but it's just not something I'm going to spend any energy or time on. And so it was just a decision that I made. So know about that. So if your people, customers, donors are all on Instagram, invest in a good camera, take an Instagram class, focus on your photography, do the things you need to do on Instagram. Instagram works. If you are a brick and mortar and you sell things, Instagram works. Follow accounts that people are curating their stuff. Follow Pottery Barn, follow any of the large retailers. It's kind of amazing. It works if your people are there. If you need to meet them on Twitter, let's say you're a more tech company, you need to meet them on Twitter, maybe host a blog chat or sponsor a blog chat, some sort of Twitter chat, do a Twitter campaign, really focus on making relationships happen there if that's where your people are. But you don't need to be everywhere. You need to do it in one place really well. So that is really different information than we were giving 2 or 3 years ago. And so it really is okay to just do it well in one place. Kind of scary if you think that you need to be everywhere, but really, if you spend the energy in the place that you really make money, you will see the difference. So what will trigger my ideal customer to think of me? So this is a good question for you. So what is it that makes them think, oh, I want to use their service? So it could be that they're have an upcoming event if you're a florist. They've just bought a new home if you're an art gallery. Maybe they're feeling stuck and so they need a consultant. Child's birthday for a museum. Think about 3 ideas for your business. What is it that someone is doing, having, being, currently struggling with that they think of you? For a plumber, it's that they have a broken pipe. It's pretty simple. But for some of us, it could be a little more difficult. But spend the time. Like, what is it that makes that happen? So why this matters is, for instance, on Facebook, you can do targeted ads for people's birthdays, or that they're a new home, or they just got engaged, or they just got divorced. The thing about Facebook is everybody tells it everything, which is crazy. Think about that. It tells them everything. And then you, as an advertiser, can use that information. So those triggers can trigger ads specific to what people are clicking or telling or sharing. But it's also good for any marketing that you have. What is it that makes them think of you? Why do they even consider you? And so brainstorm that for your marketing plan. The marketing program that you plan to execute. So here's, again, the big plate syndrome. Small businesses want to do it all. They see things and they're excited and they just want to do it all. Or they do nothing. I see that too. They do nothing. But think about this. You can't execute a marketing plan very well if you're running 5 or 6 of them at one time. It's really hard. I'll give an example. A client of a friend of mine's, a consultant out of Tennessee, shared with me that he was working with a client who wanted to do a contest online. And contests are not easy. They're not easy to run necessarily. You have to promote them. There's a strategy to promoting them. You want to make sure that they get shared correctly. You want to make sure that you pick the winner. You want to make sure that you announce it right. You want to make sure that you have the rules. There's a lot of pieces to it. Well, they wanted to run a contest, sort of on top of each other, one right after the other. And they really struggled with the execution, and they just weren't getting people interested in it because it was too much and they weren't doing it well. So it's really okay to have marketing programs that are more focused. So let's say that you are an accessory shop, or you sell anything that would be related to Valentine's Day. Well, obviously, you're going to do a Valentine's Day campaign, and you're going to start that campaign probably right after Christmas or right at the beginning of the new year, and you're going to push that campaign right into Valentine's Day. And then you're going to regroup, and you're going to move probably to Mother's Day. So think about things seasonally. It is okay to have a staggered approach and to do it well, as opposed to doing it all at once, which is impossible, but I see it a lot. But so think seasonally. Think about partnering with others in events. Look at what's around you. Maybe you're a nonprofit and you saw how Giving Tuesday worked, and you're thinking, well, maybe I want to do that this year. Well, it takes time to plan those programs. So you want to make sure that you're putting that marketing plan and you're executing it in time. So you're giving yourself the time to do it well. Everything seems so fast and hurried, but if you're actually going to sit down and figure out your calendar, okay, the contest is going to drop here, the sale is going to drop here. How much time do I need to promote it? What do I need in store? What do I need online? All of that takes time. So you don't have to do it all. And think about what's natural. So the cycles of your business, it could be the taxes or the school schedule. A lot of things are around the school schedule. Maybe it's quarterly. Maybe you're just going to do 4 campaigns a year, really focused, tight, fun, good campaigns. That's okay too. It might be the year that you choose to do a VIP program, and you're going to launch that, and that'll run forever, but you're going to spend the time to make sure that it's right, and you're going to launch it, say, in May, and then that will run continuously. Now, granted, then you will be running on top. You'll have things on top of it, but you're going to give yourself the time to plan them. Don't have too much on my plate syndrome. It's normal if you do, but try not to. So who is my social good partner? This probably, if you do nothing else in any of this, this is probably the most important piece. I know that small businesses get asked, so I run this nonprofit and I get asked on a weekly basis whether or not I will donate to event X, Y, or Z. Every time that you give product, time, or money, that comes out of your marketing budget. So even if you're giving stuff, like product that didn't sell or, whatever you want to give, that's part of your marketing budget. And you get asked a lot. So there's no real impact in what you're doing because there's no focus. So my challenge in 2015 to small businesses is to choose one nonprofit, or to consider, and maybe you really pick it in 2016, but to consider the one nonprofit that has ties to the type of work you do, or a family work tie-in. So if you were a dentist, maybe you would do, dental care kits, and maybe you're going to partner with some sort of health fair or something, whatever it is. If you have a member of your staff who battled cancer, maybe that's going to be the nonprofit of choice. The step is to contact the nonprofit that you're going to work with. Let them know that you'd like to sponsor an event, host a drive, somehow engage with them so they know that you are spending your energy and time with them. Most nonprofit directors, especially the smaller nonprofits, will be thrilled to hear from you. Yes, they may have sponsorship packages that are corporate level sponsorship packages that you will not be able to do this year. That's okay. There's always room for everyone who wants to give. Choosing one allows you to have more impact. It also gives you a way to say no to the multiple requests. So you can say, thank you so much for thinking of me, but we're really focused on X this year. And that allows you an out. You get to say no, which is really hard for most small business owners. And so I really hope that you'll take this and use it to your advantage. You can make a real difference in your community, either online or in person, if you choose one that you focus on. So what is your budget? This slide, I did this presentation a couple weeks ago, and I got a lot of emails back saying, oh my goodness. So the traditional is 5% of your revenue will allow you to stay right where you are with minimal growth, 5%. 10% is what's optimal for substantial growth. So remember those new things that you wanted to do? You made that list, and you want to add an employee, and you want to expand a line and you want to develop a new product, whatever that is. So that's 10% of your revenue. That's what's standard. And I kind of broke this down so that you could see it. Total revenue times 5%, marketing budget required to maintain current visibility. Where you are currently, current awareness, 5% of your total revenue. If you want to move, it's 10%. So here's the real deal. Spend something. Many small businesses don't spend anything. They think their website, their Etsy store, their location will be enough. It's not. You have to spend something. You are in business to get more business, and you do have to spend money to make sure people know you are where you are, that you're visible, and that they have a constant presence. I did work for years with Coca-Cola, and really, does Coca-Cola need to advertise? You know who they are, right? Like, you don't need to see another Coke ad, do you? I mean, really? Yes, you do, because the beverage industry is so competitive that the choices are so continual that if they don't continue to have top of mind presence, you may go for a competitor, even a third or fourth player in the world of beverage marketing instead of them. And that matters to them. That change that you can make, that decision you can make matters, because if you quantify that to the billions of people, they need you to remember them. And so they continue to advertise. That they are the joke that people usually, they don't need to. Well, yes, they do. And you do too. And I see this mistake more than anything is that, well, my brick and mortar is my location. That's my advertising. And it's not. It's a good thing. Everyone appreciates your where you are, but we need you to make sure that you are staying top of mind. So even if you can't spend 5%, you need to spend something. So what is revenue? That's the total amount of money a company takes in before any expenses. I say this because I've had small businesses, not always sure, but that's what revenue is. It's all the money you take in before expenses. So here's some examples. Nonprofits. If you have a revenue of $150,000, you would budget, $12,500. Small business, $47,500. A micro business, there's a lot of micro businesses, people running, the thing that keeps them alive every day and going, $80,000 a year, they'd budget $4,000. And those, remember, can include things like website updates or hiring a consultant or maybe getting a virtual assistant to help you or to, spend a little advertising on Facebook, whatever that is. But those are real numbers. I think that people don't put the real number. So go back. It's tax time, which is great. You can look, if you're finishing up your 2014 books, look at what your total revenue is and go ahead and say what the 5% is, and then say what the 10% is, and see where you think you can be this year. This is a pretty crucial thing. Yes, your time is valuable. I've said that, and your brick and mortar is important, and your website address is important, but it's not enough. It's not enough to move you forward or to even keep you where you are today. Invest in your business. So for brick and mortars, so that's what a marketing campaign is. It's an investment in your business. So a brick and mortar needs to know that your window is worth at least $2,000 a month in advertising. So that's using the cost of a standard display ad, like on the back of a magazine, which could actually be like $4,000, depending, on the regional or local magazine. But clean it, make it amazing. Hire someone to do it, change it, do what you need to do to your window to make it fabulous. Give customers something to talk about. Create a hashtag and use it. Let them know what social platform you are on and what you're really focused on. Have signs, send people emails, let them know where you are and where you're playing and where you're interested in being, and let them follow you there. Get their email address. If I had to say the one thing I wish all businesses would do this year, it would be to collect email addresses and directly market to them. Yes, they may have to see your email 52 times before they do something. That is okay. If they say yes to allowing you to send them things in their inbox, that is one step closer to having them purchase something from you. And brick and mortars, if you need to do anything, invest in customer service training. I add that to marketing because customer service is your best foot forward. And I work with too many small businesses that don't have customer service training. And really, your hospitality associations in any state probably offer it at free to low cost. So take advantage of what's out there and pay for your staff to go. They need to be the very best. The expectation of customer service is so high now that is the choice that people make. They differentiate where they'll dine, where they'll shop, what service they will use based on customer service. I would add it to your marketing budget if you can. Online businesses. Learn what SEO is, and it's search engine optimization, and how you can do it yourself. Have landing pages that work. Get the capability to capture email addresses on your website. Give away free content. It doesn't matter if you're brick and mortar or whatever, on your website, figure out how you can give away free content. People download stuff and they give you their email address. It's fabulous. Have someone not related to your company navigate your website and give you actual real feedback. I provide this service for people and it's usually astounding. They think that they have a great user interface and they don't. It's hard to get to the shopping cart, or there's too much information, or there's not enough information. Have someone do this for you this year if you're just online, because nothing is more frustrating than a bad user interface. And it's huge companies to very small companies. Currently, Audible is the one that's driving me nuts. It's just not very user friendly. And I wish they would have, customers tell them, or people not related to them tell them this doesn't work very well, and then make those changes. Nonprofits, invest in marketing. You have to communicate to your community what you're doing to show that you're valuable. Make it easy to give to your organization. A quick plug for Constant Contact. They have a really easy way to do that via email, which is fab. It's just a button and then people give you money. How great is that? But you should also have that online and in paper and all the ways that they can give to you. And decrease your actual mail to pieces that you see actual return on. I see some nonprofits just sending something every month because I think they should, and that may not be the wisest investment. So think about what it is that you're sending and if you're actually getting a return on it. So here's the promise that you make, that you will pick one social platform and do it really, really well. I have a few questions, so I will answer those. Yeah, so Destiny says Google Analytics will show what is and isn't working. It's proven just how skewed the vendor reports are in their favor. Yes. Okay. So I didn't have this on here because I do Google Analytics in its own presentation. But if you are not getting Google reports, so you set up Google Analytics and you can get a report emailed to you every week or every day or every month, whatever the frequency is. It's a PDF. It's great. It will tell you specifically what's working and what isn't working. I have so many small businesses who don't have Google Analytics set up Maybe it's because their nephew did their website, or they just didn't know, or they didn't ask their developer, or they just don't have anyone who will do that. This is key to knowing what where your traffic is coming from, what they're doing online, and how they're navigating your site. And so it shouldn't cost you very much. If you need help with that, I have someone who can help you do that. It's super simple. But this is key, because Destiny is right. The vendor reports will always show that it's working. I've never seen a vendor report say, oh, yeah, you're right. That ad you bought on XYZ isn't working. You have to pull your own reporting to make sure that it's working. Yeah, really important. And yes, you'll receive a copy of the presentation. And I have two worksheets. I have one that has the step-by-step of this marketing plan, and I have one that has the ideal client. And so if you want either of those, you can just email me and I'm happy to send those to you so that you can work through them. I usually tell clients to spend maybe 3 hours, and you can break that up to do your marketing plan. If you work through the steps, you can, sort of chunk it up. It doesn't have to be done all at once, but this whole thing would take you about 3 hours, and you could work it the whole year. So 3 hours of planning will save you time and money. It's my wish that every small business would do this. So a big shout out to Constant Contact. Again, I can't provide these without them. They are a tremendous service. I'm actually a user. I was a user of Constant Contact before I became one of their local experts. I've been using it for, a long time, maybe 8 years, something like that. I was and I use it both for clients and myself and for a nonprofit that I run. So I sort of see all of the pieces of what it's capable of. And I'm just proud to be part of their team, and I'm really thankful that they allow me to do this. They offer newsletters, surveys, offers, and promotions. I just did event registration through them, and it's tremendously good and easy. So if any of you are doing events at all, I highly recommend it. Today, I'm offering $20 to start your email campaign if you're interested. It gives you a free custom-made email template, free coaching, and a one-on-one call with me. And we can go over your marketing plan or whatever else that you need help with. But that's just today. And you would need to email me and say, yes, sign me up, something like that. If you're already a Constant Contact client, they have a $10 special to do an add-on of surveys and something else, I think. And if you're or a social media campaign, and if you're interested in that, just say, yeah, I'm already a Constant Contact customer, and I'd love to do that. But thank you so much. And if you have longer form questions, please just send them to me. I'm happy to answer. It might take me a bit. I'm teaching a lot this week, so give me a little time. Someone asked, so with the free trial for Constant Contact, how many email addresses are you allowed? You're allowed 500, which is pretty good for most small businesses. If you have more than that, email me and we'll see what we can do. Like I said, I also use MailChimp and Emma and all the others. So, I know what they're like. And what I've seen with Constant Contact is just the ease of the tool for most small businesses and nonprofits. And I really like that. And also they have a great spam filter. It's fabulous. But anyway, if you have any questions, it's been great to be with you. I hope you stay warm. I hope you have a great year. And really, if you just do one thing this year, maybe it's that you pick one social platform and you just do it really, really well. Just pick one and do it really well. And I appreciate your time, and thank you. Thank you so much.